We are here again, and we
I
are
made it, Sean.
cool. We are joining AM 640 with the Kelly, or joining the Kelly Contreras show on AM 640, and that's what we're doing because we do that now and again, and we've got some stuff and things to talk about. Of course, we're bringing you along for the ride, so you can enjoy, even if you're not, in arm's reach of a radio. We will have also. Actually, I shouldn't speak for them. I think we might be able to take calls from the radio audience, and if so, we'll do that because I answer questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff all the time. And now we do it on Kelly's show. I have no doubt that there'll be cool stuff and things to discuss. There always are. Oh, yes. So in about a minute's time, we'll be live on the air. And, of course, we'll be hearing voices that are not mine, and that's because they're theirs, Kelly's in particular. And why does it say Shap's wife? Oh, because I wasn't the last person to log in. My wife was. And I'm going to take the volume down on the other side just a little bit because it was real loud. And I'm told that drowns me out sometimes.
You're
Don't want that.
listening to the Kelly Contreras Show, 900 CHML, 980 CFPL, 640 Toronto, and anywhere in the Radio Player Canada app. Happy Halloween to you, the Halloween edition. I literally saw one of the scariest things online the other day. It literally made me I lost my breath watching it, and I have come to the conclusion that it's time to invest in a dash cam based on this horrifying footage. You may have seen it as well. It happened on a clear January afternoon last year. The raised part of the Gardner Expressway near the CNE grounds. There's no shoulder. There's no right, there's no left on that, hand shoulder on the Gardner that is raised. And so it's pretty tight at the best of times. And it is, people driving as you do at a higher speed because it is a highway. And there is this guy in a BMW that was captured on somebody's dash cam. And he is erratically driving, and he passes a car on the right and comes right up very, very close to the end of a taxi who is on the right-hand lane before he dips into the middle lane. But before he does, he connects with the taxi, clips the back of the taxi right at the left-hand rear side. The hatch immediately buckles. The car pivots towards the guardrail on the right side of the Gardner. The taxi goes flying into the air. And even though I was watching it in real time, I swear my brain slowed it down as it turned in the air, rolling 5 times before it stopped on the other side of the highway. And thankfully, all the other drivers managed to stop before hitting it. Now, the driver of the taxi ended up suffering a hand and a head injury, still apparently has limited mobility in that hand. The passenger had a head, shoulder, and knee injury, also lost the sight in one eye. And the reason why I bring this up is we've just learned that guy driving the BMW got 9 months in jail after his dangerous driving caused that crash last January on the Gardner. Here to talk about it, Sean Shapiro, TikTok traffic cop. Sean, thanks for being here. Really appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. That is some scary footage, very scary footage. You know what he said to the judge? He said, well, I was rushing home in my BMW because of a family emergency. The judge basically said there's no justification for driving dangerously, and it's only a matter of luck that there were not more victims and no one was killed. And numerous people had called 911 before the accident, basically talking about, reporting his erratic lane changes. And he said, I accept responsibility for a foolish error I'd made. At the time, I did not factor in that the speed I was driving would constitute such a public hazard. I simply thought I would be able to speed home to resolve an issue that was pressing. The pressing issue, Sean, was a family member with a drinking problem. The judge said, I don't accept it. That's not a valid excuse. Basically, if you have an emergency, you do what the rest of us do, call 911. Do we need to see more rulings like this kind in order to send a clear message to drivers who still don't get it?
I certainly think so. They were convicted, my understanding is dangerous driving caused bodily harm. And that actually has a maximum of 14 years. So 9 months, pretty easy, pretty low.
Yeah.
Considering the option. If they would have killed anybody, they have a chance of a lifetime sentence. So Again, 9 months, pretty low. But I do think that drivers who choose to put others' lives at risk intentionally, as this driver did, need to be held accountable. It's not something that can be just, a ticket and say goodbye.
Yeah, I think if we heard more situations where people are actually going to jail, not just losing their license, but going to jail, then it would send out a message loud and clear to drivers. It's very similar to the seatbelt rule when we first had to get used to wearing seatbelts in the car.
Well, this is just an outrageous amount of speed and a type of driving that no one in the right mind would look at and say, this is acceptable. Having looked at the video, it is terrifying. And the aftermath of what it caused, think about somebody, if you were there, if that was somebody you cared about in that vehicle, regardless if you were there. I mean, this is something people don't walk away from. It changes lives forever. It impacts communities. And yeah, we need to have stricter enforcement and penalties.
I want to ask you about this. We just passed our fifth year anniversary of marijuana being legalized for recreational use in Canada. And I know people are getting used to cannabis products all over the place. Some of them actually have no psychoactive properties, they don't have any THC in them. Can you talk to us about CBD? Because apparently that is one of the cannabinoids inside the cannabis plant that can be extracted. And it has no impairment properties. It's legal like cannabis. It basically, people use it for pain relief, for relaxing, for anxiety. What does the law say about taking it and driving? Is there any law around that?
The big thing is the impairment by way of THC. So if the extract doesn't have THC, I don't think there's any issue with taking it. But I've also spoken to doctors who have said if it doesn't have THC in it, it's not doing anything for your pain. So I'm not very familiar with the CBD without the properties that actually deal with pain. I don't know if how legitimate that is. But again, if it has no THC, there's nothing in your bloodstream that should be causing you to be impaired.
Okay, so that's what they're looking for in the roadside test, the draggers testing for THC.
Exactly. They're looking, that's a buccal swab that's looking for it in your saliva, trace elements of it there. And that's what they're looking for. So someone had a zero, drug in, requirement to have zero drugs, zero alcohol. I don't know if there's enough trace to trigger a roadside screening device or not. That's not my area of specialty, but I would avoid it if there's any chance of you being impaired.
All right, before I let you go, let's very quickly touch on Halloween safety on the roads. What's the major message you want to get out to drivers today?
This is sort of like back to school at night with costumes. Lots and lots of people, many of them young, many of them hopped up on candy, sugar, a lot of poor choices possibly being made running across the street in costume that could be dark. Just be very careful. Drivers need to be focused on safety, expect the unexpected. Slower you go, the more time you have to respond to changes up ahead. For parents who are taking their kids around, try and get in and out early while it's still got some light out there so we have improved visibility. But if you are going out when it's dark, try and ensure that you have either really bright colors would be great. If you have reflective material, that's good. It increases your chance of being seen, doesn't resolve all problems, but it's better than nothing. Or carry a flashlight and have it lit. It not only allows you to see where you're going, but it allows others to see you. That's the big stuff. Masks that prohibit or interfere with your ability to see, that's a problem. I remember all the horrifying masks of the 80s. You couldn't see anything in those. So avoid those. Makeup is better, or nothing on your face at all.
I started off the show talking about those horrible single-use plastic masks we used to wear when we were kids, where the elastic band would break before Halloween and your parents would be looking around for the stapler. And if you stapled it too much time, then you get too many times, you get like a rip in the mask.
I'm going to email you a TikTok that I watched yesterday, and a guy basically wrote a song all about horrifying clown masks when he was a kid in the 80s.
All right. If you could, send it to Dave, and maybe we'll get it on for Seconds and Leftovers. Do you mind?
I don't mind at all. Send it to you in a few minutes.
All right. Look at you. I love it. Sean, thank you very much for joining us. Always appreciate talking to you.
Always a pleasure. All the best, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. That is Sean Shapiro, the tick.
And they're gone. It is always a pleasure to chat with the folks over at the Kelly Cutrara Show. This was really a quick hit to say hello and chat with them and share it with you, because not everybody has a radio, and I want you to hear what we're talking about. It's important stuff and things that we talk about. If you are watching and you'd like to know how to get more of what you're seeing, follow us on whatever platform you're on. We go live Monday to Friday, which is weekdays, from 10 to 11, unless we announce otherwise, which happens on occasion. Now, if we, here we go. These are the platforms we broadcast on: TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and of course, the platform formerly known as Twitter. I see a whole bunch of people that are watching on TikTok, and I'll quickly scroll through and see what's up. Let's see if there's any chats. Oh, we got a whole bunch of people. So Chase says, "Woohoo, Kelly!" A fan here apparently. Chase is a regular listener, and actually, no, I'll put this up as a special episode on the podcast. So we have a podcast called TPS Traffic Jam, which is where I interview people. This is not that. This is Ask a Traffic Cop. At least that's the segment what we do our live stream on. And then I repost those on the YouTube platform under the Ask a Traffic Cop replay title. So we have, so you can listen to it later. So I'll put it up as a special. Okay, Kanwanur says, hello. Hello back to you. Let's see here. Alexis wants to know at what age seniors need to get retested for their license. Is it just a written test or driving test too? So there's two different thresholds, and I don't remember the year or the age in which it starts, but I believe it starts annual testing, and it starts, I think, just written and then becomes a driving test. And I have to get back to you on that, but I will make a video. In fact, I think you asked this question on the live stream, and I am preparing 3 videos. I've already shot one. I'll shoot 2 more, one of which is yours. So I'll have the answer in a much more thought out and complete manner. Yeah. Naruto says hello. Libux said something, but it's not actually a word, I don't think. Let's see here. Random was impressed that it was only 9 months. Evil Sloth says, oh, radio interview day. Yeah, usually every other week on a Thursday, usually. And today is not Thursday, so it's Halloween. And that was an excuse to get together on the radio. If you're going to speed, go in the ditch. Okay. What is this? Trucker Pants says she couldn't have looked up that information. Oh, listen, people talk to me about things that are available in all sorts of different places, but whether or not they trust those places. Google is not always right, because it sends you to all sorts of people who say they know stuff. Okay, Eric McDonald. How long do minor charges stay on record? Jaywalking, failure to show license, or insurance stuff. So when we talk about, like, jaywalking doesn't go on your driver's license. It's not a vehicle related charge. In fact, so that doesn't affect your license at all. In terms of your driver's license, charges or convictions stay on your license for 3 years from the date of conviction. James Campbell, like the question. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got? Just going quickly. Suzette wants to know, can I use my phone in hand if the car is in park but ignition is on? If you are legally parked, yes, but not just in the park setting. You have to be in a place that you could be leaving your vehicle where it's legal to park. If you pull into a no parking zone, technically you are violating the law and you are eligible for a ticket. If you are a chronic user who has lots of THC in your blood level, you're going to be considered impaired, I would guess, because you're going to do a blood test and it's going to be showing up. I am not a drug recognition expert. I am speculating on that. But if you have drugs in your system and you're driving and they make a case for impairment, I don't know how you're going to defend yourself if you have high amounts of THC in your blood. It's a good question. I should get my specialist to come in and chat on the show. Let's see here. I think there's a actually, I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to talk to the pro and see if I can get him to guest. Okay. Oh, Bonnie says, you're the best. Thank you all for everything you do. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Bonnie. Much appreciated. I appreciate the appreciation. Someone says, yep, driving while watching. That is not good. That is not legal. That is a $615 fine, in fact. Is the flag on the hood of a car okay? Well, aside from the fact that the flapping of your flag on the hood will actually damage your paint job, if it's secured and does not obscure your ability to see, doesn't become dislodged, it's properly secured, then I don't think there's anything wrong with having that attached to your hood. But again, you are going to ruin your paint, at the very least the finish, and you're also running the potential of having something fly up on your face, blinding you and causing collision. Not a good look. Is it okay to stream on TikTok while driving? No, you can't be using your phone and having the screen visible to you. If you mounted it and your screen was not visible to you, streaming is one thing, but reading comments and interacting with people, doing what I'm doing right now, not legal while driving. Is the G-test still modified? I believe it is. Let's see here. Question is, why do we have a G1, G2, and G? Why don't we have only one and we drive G? It's called graduated licensing, and the goal is to have more experience developed by the new driver. So before they're set forth onto the world wreaking havoc, we can actually teach them how to be safe and know the rules and drive responsibly. That's the theory behind it. And, I don't know if it's working or not, because we still see some horrendous drivers out there. So maybe we need more. Maybe we need a G3 and a G4. Is vaping while driving okay, as long as there's nothing illegal in it and you're of the appropriate age to vape, which I have no idea what that is. And if you have, and you cannot have anybody under the age of 16 in the vehicle. Any tips for OPC? Yes, be perfect. Keep your exercise up. Don't party, because there's opportunities for socializing. Going for wings and bowling and whatnot. And study first. Focus. Do the job. Do the work. Make sure you. OPC is the Ontario Police College, for anyone who's wondering what the heck I'm talking about. There's opportunities to socialize. Focus on studying. Study first. If you're with Toronto in particular, if you're in the top 25%, you're rewarded for high scores. So be in the top 25%. That should be your goal. Anything less is just getting by. You want to be the top. You don't have to be the number one, although there is a number one, and I would have preferred to be number one. Just because, why not be the best? I was not the best. I was down the list, but I was in the top 25. And yeah, just stay focused, and you'll get through it. It's actually a lot of fun. I other than being away from my family, I really enjoyed OPC. What is this? Oh, saw a video of a guy scooting in the left turn lane before cutting back into traffic, charges unsafe move. I don't know if we could do it for stunt or not. I'd have to look at the lines for stunt, but careless driving, possibly dangerous driving. I mean, it is definitely not legal. Which charges I would end up laying. I actually downloaded that video because I want to do a stitch with it later. So I'll do some more. Let's talk to the. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna show the video to 5 people, get 5 different responses, stitch that into a video. That'll be my video. I will put that up later today or tomorrow. I'm happy to see your live. I'm happy that you saw my live. That's the whole goal here. Weekdays from 10 to 11, we do this. Weekdays from 10 to 11. That's like Monday to Friday. So if you ever have questions, feel free to jump in. We do it on TikTok. Hey, TikTok's working. Holy moly. No way. TikTok actually had the questions come up without a moderator? No way. I am so happy right now. You have no idea. So this is the very first time that I'm seeing questions come up on TikTok and I don't have to have a moderator cut and paste. The world is a better place as of right now. Holy smokes. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. Wow. Is that really? Hang on a second. Okay, mind blown. We got here. That's awesome. Okay, sorry, I'm just enjoying the awesomeness for a second. You're very welcome. Optimist L says, appreciate all the knowledge you share. My question, how old before a child can stop using their car seat? So you go from bucket, rear facing, to front facing, convertible, front facing, large, to, some seats cover multiples of these. Then you get into booster seat, and before a child can sit in a car seat, an actual seat with seatbelt without a booster or a car seat of any kind, they must be one of the following 3 things: 8 years old, 80 pounds, or 4'9" in height. And that is to meet the legal requirement. That is not necessarily the safest option, because if they are a small 8-year-old, they may be safer staying in a booster longer. It's all about the actual size of the child and what's safest for them. So go to cpsac.org, Child Passenger Safety Association of Canada. They have a list, and that list will help you identify whether your child is truly someone who should be sitting in a seatbelt without a car seat. I say if you buy a car seat that covers a range, that car seat's going to keep your child safer longer. Don't be in a rush to get out of it. That would be my personal advice to you. And of course, backseat is best until the age of 14. Okay. It's Linda. Linda, I haven't seen you in a long, long time. Linda's coming in through Facebook. Hi, hero. Oh my God, lost you or a long time. Thank you for what you do. I'm here. I've been here the whole time, but yes, I haven't seen you. It may have been based on a change of time. We used to go really, really early back in the old days of the show. It's been a while, but Linda was in every morning, and says hello every morning, but then she didn't. So glad you caught us today. Boss Tiger wants to know if can deaf drivers drive? And what happens if they get pulled over? Your question may have been the same question from earlier, and the answer is yes. In the province of Ontario, hearing is not a requirement. We have many people from the deaf community who drive. They drive well, and there is no issue there. Vision is a requirement. Hearing is not. Even though given the option, I'm sure everyone would like to hear the sirens coming up behind them, but there are deaf drivers who do a fantastic job, and we're glad to have you on the road. Will a police officer give you a ticket even during, what is this? Will a police officer give you a ticket even during driving school G1? You break the law, you get a ticket, even if you're a G1, yes. If it's something really minor, they might give you an opportunity, especially if you're, if it wasn't something that was a major safety concern. But if you are breaking the law or doing something unsafe, you deserve a ticket. Just saying. Yeah, we ticket people. Hello, Zombie. Yes, I earlier said that we should have a G1, 2, 3, 4, and Zombie takes it all the way to 10. We have a lot of bad drivers. Goldie wants to know, how do you ask? You just did. Looking at the GPS on the phone that is mounted, is that legal? Okay. Can you have a cell phone while you are driving and look at the screen? No, for everything other than the main screen that tells you someone's calling, which you can then swipe to answer or hit a button on your headset, whatever the option is. But you can set a destination prior to getting on the road and watch the screen in GPS mode. It is the one time you can view the screen on your phone and not get a charge. Now, if you start typing in destinations or reporting collisions up ahead, that is not one of the permitted behaviors or uses of your phone, and that would result in a ticket, or could. I'm still just accepting or dealing with the fact that TikTok is now interfacing with this software. Totally awesome. Random says, one time I'm driving 180 on a cop oncoming, he never ticketed. What? You were driving 100 kilometers an hour in an 80 zone. Okay. Maybe they were not doing speed enforcement. Maybe they didn't have moving radar. Maybe it's not illegal. Well, no, it's illegal. You're doing 20 over. I was thinking doing 80 and 100, doing 20 under. 20 under wouldn't be illegal. But yeah, doing 20 over, they may not have noticed. They may be going somewhere. Maybe they were going home. I don't know. Let's see here. And Bonnie says, you're lucky not to get a ticket. I think, yeah, it was. Bonnie said to Random, you're lucky. And I would agree. Harvey Specter. I wonder if anyone else knows the reference to the show Suits, which is obviously an awesome show. How long is the application process to be a constable? I think it depends if you memorize the whole thing. No, a failed attempt at a Suits reference. The deal is that you are, it depends. If you, timing-wise, it could take 6 months, it could take 6 weeks. It really depends on how much work has to be done to get you through the background process. I've heard of people being hired in 2 weeks. I mean, it was a number of years ago, but if you've got a clean package and your background has been, if you're an open book when it comes to background, you could possibly be faster. But I would say 6 months is the average. So the user with a lot of numbers in the name says, "Thanks, Sean. Not going with Toronto, but maybe I'll see you around. All the best. Keep in touch. Reach out. Send me a message. You can go to trafficcop.ca. You can send me a message and let me know how you do. Let me know where you end up." Okay. Random says, one time run red light, cop at intersection. Random does all sorts of bad things. Boss Tiger says, "You are a good man, Sean." Oh, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Can you drive without a hood? This has been one of those conversations where I've spoken to officers who are into modifications in cars, and they say, no, unless your vehicle was manufactured that way. And they make a really good argument. Like if you were to hit a pedestrian, and we hope that that's not something that happens, but they would not glide off your hood as you would want them to. You would want them to avoid getting caught into fan belts and things and getting all chopped up. That would be bad. I would say it's unsafe, and I think that it would therefore make it an unsafe vehicle. Although unsafe vehicles like hoodless cars would be exempt if they were manufactured that way in the year that they were made. I have to look at the directory, the inspection guide, to see if hood being intact has anything to do with certification. It may not. But again, the general consensus is that it would be illegal. Okay. Does auxiliary police work around someone's work schedule? Auxiliary police, volunteer opportunity. We're currently hiring for it. If you're interested in joining the auxiliary police service, then I would suggest you go to tps.ca/careers and put in an application if that's something that sounds like it would be good for you. So the question was, does it work around your schedule? And the answer is, yeah, you volunteer for things that you're available for. There's no regular schedule because it is something you do to volunteer. So I used to do that. I started as a volunteer with the auxiliary because there was no hiring for PC. It was a freeze. Had so much fun. I then became a court officer, a special constable. And then later down the road, I transitioned over to police work, to paid police work, because auxiliary work is still police work. Fantastic opportunity. I used to do hundreds of hours of volunteer work, but it was entirely based on my availability. And they understand you have a life and they're not paying you. So yeah, Brandy says, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you too. Oh, I'm so excited that TikTok is working. This just changed my world. 100%. Thank you for the wonderful or the excellent info. And that's from, is that Michelle Orion 472? I think it is. Yeah, Michelle. Is it Michelle Ryan? This whole lack of punctuation in names throws me off. What happens if you get caught for jaywalking? It depends on where you are. Jaywalking isn't necessarily against the law, but it is unsafe. If you're within proximity to I think is it 9 meters from a crosswalk, you can get a charge. I don't know off the top of my head what it is, but it is a ticket. And the biggest thing is we want you to survive crossing the street, and that is a dangerous thing in some areas. So be careful. In some jurisdictions, it might be illegal, but it's not illegal necessarily here if it's mid-block. Can we watch, what is this? Can we video, audio record anyone in public places without consent? For the most part, in public places, you are able to record people because it's a public place. There's no reasonable expectation of privacy. However, if you're doing it in a purview way, if it's for a sexual purpose, that's against the law. So it really depends on what you're talking about. Like I've arrested people at a comic book convention for doing things that were inappropriate. Obviously, it was sexual in nature. That would be not okay. Let's see what we got here. Happy you found us too, Linda. Okay. Nikki got a speeding ticket. The officer lowered it to no points and a $52 fee. Does this affect your insurance? And the truth is, yeah, it still can. If it was a charge that didn't have points, it's likely 15 kilometers over, and that would result in a charge that had no demerit points. But it's a minor conviction, according to insurance companies. And if you had a bunch of them, it would still stack up and could very well be used against you to raise your rates. They determine what they want to do. They determine whether or not you are a threat to them based on your behavior. So it's a thing. Do police officers give other tickets do police officers give other police officers tickets for breaking the law? It has happened. Listen, people give breaks to civilians, and officers give breaks to civilians, and occasionally they give breaks to police officers. But at the same time, they've also given tickets to police officers. It really gets interesting, and sergeants are usually involved. Okay. Jesse says hello on Kick and follows up with, how are you? And I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Hey, if you're watching and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service. Normally, I'm on TikTok and all the platforms from 10 to 11 on weekdays. However, today I jumped in late at 12:30 to join the Kelly Contreras show on AM 640, and they disconnected, but we stayed on because there's been a whole bunch of people saying hello and asking questions. So I figure, why not? Mind you, I do have to get off the system soon because I have to go do a training course. Training courses are important. I don't know if they're fun, but they're important. Do you get a ticket for driving with your lights off at night? I needed this sip. The answer is yes. Improper headlights by not having them on is an offense. You have to have 2 headlights and 1 taillight minimum. And if you don't, you're eligible for a ticket. All right. Squish says, I shouldn't watch Kitchen Nightmares while driving. No, you could listen to it if your screen wasn't visible. It's amazing how little you need to see on television to follow what's happening. And back in the old days when radio was people acting it out without any camera involved. So yeah, I've watched by way of listening, and I listen to audiobooks when I drive. Some will argue that that is a level of distraction. Yes, it is, but so is talking to someone who's sitting right next to you. So I think podcasts and audiobooks are a great way to entertain yourself while driving, although I would avoid anything, because it's illegal, if it's on the screen. Let's see here. If you witness road rage between two cars yelling through windows, etc., do you get involved? Do I get involved? Yes, because I'm a police officer. Do you get involved? No, unless you want to call a non-emergency line or emergency line if you think it's escalating to the point of someone's going to get hurt. Yelling, though, is not really road rage. It could escalate to road rage. Yelling is just communication loudly. It really depends. If you think people are in danger, call 911. Okay. It's thank you for all you do. Well, thank you for the thank you. I much appreciate it. Okay, I got someone selling me on Kick for graphics. They're a graphic designer. They want to know if I need help. I need help, but not graphic design. Okay, Millie D, is a booster seat legal to use in the front seat of a truck? Yes. So seating position, although not ideal in the front seat, pickup trucks only have front seats, right? Two-door vehicles. You can still transport children in car seats. Just follow the directions. There could be a situation where you're unable to install a seat according to manufacturer's requirements, and that could be a problem. But a booster seat, absolutely. Just put the seat as far back as possible to keep that child away from airbags. Airbags deploy at about 200 miles per hour, and do not do nice things to kids in a collision, at least have the potential of causing injury. Does Toronto Police have a cadet program? Not really. I say not really because when I was a court officer, we called it the unofficial cadet program. But there may be cadet. Well, there are cadet programs coming out in many different jurisdictions. I don't know if Toronto's on track to do the same thing. Mike wants to know about. Just to finish off with Hamuzi, I would certainly reach out to the Toronto Police Service Recruiting Department, www.tps.ca/careers, and just in case, I'll put it on screen too. But yeah, I would ask them. They are the ultimate knowers of stuff and things in relation to hiring stuff and things. Okay, radar jammer question. Is radar jammer illegal in Ontario? How much is the ticket if you get caught? Jammer or detector, both illegal, $170, 3 demerit points, and we seize it. If we think you have it, we can actually stop you, search your vehicle, and seize it upon finding it. So it can get expensive. Some of those pieces of equipment are not cheap, and we can remove it. Some of those things are installed and might leave marks. So I would suggest not having one. Can't have it, can't sell it, can't buy it, can't transport it, can't use it. All illegal. I'm a British citizen moving to Ontario. What are the laws driving on full UK license in Ontario? Are you moving here? You can actually exchange your license from Britain here for a full license. All you have to do is go to the Ministry of Transportation or Service Ontario location, and you can trade it in, assuming you have a full license for a full license. If you have a depending on the level of license, it might require testing, but I believe UK is entirely straight trade. Cole says, I used to be my own worst enemy, had a lead foot at 160, can be bad on a 110 highway. Yeah, 160 can be bad. In fact, it's stunt driving. Take your vehicle away for 14 days, take your license away for 30. You look at that's just administratively at the side of the road. Then you're talking about a ticket if you're convicted, you're looking at a 1 to 3 year conviction, 1 to 3 year prohibition of driving, first offense, $2,000 to $10,000 fine, up to 6 months in jail. Then you're talking about, if you did it again, you'd be looking at a 3 to 10 year prohibition and the same $2,000 to $10,000 and up to 6 months in jail. Do it a third time, you're looking at a lifetime ban. Not a good idea. So if that was a truly past tense, then I'm glad to hear that you've changed your driving behavior. Can a deaf male be an auxiliary officer? He can hear on one ear. So I don't know. I there is a hearing test. There is a hearing requirement for police officer. If you have hearing in one ear, you might be able to, but I would definitely save that question for the fine folks at TPS Recruiting. They have a Twitter account. They have a TikTok account. You can certainly reach out to them, or go to tps.ca/careers. Go onto the volunteer section and ask them. Tracy says hi, and Tracy is on screen with a picture from TikTok. Can you believe it, Tracy? Tracy is a regular on TikTok and helps us because she knows so much stuff, through osmosis, through and general stuff of knowing. Helps us along daily, along with Emma, who interact in the chat. And I don't normally see her on this screen. I usually see her on this screen. So, Tracy, it's nice to see you on this screen. Okay. What is this? Not pulling over for emergency vehicles and OPP lanes on divided highway. Where in the HTA is that an exemption? Under the HTA we talk about divided and undivided. So in a divided highway, divided with concrete or grass or barrier, you don't have to pull over. It would be in the HTA. What section of the HTA? Have a read. It's there. If it's not there, tell me, because then we'll go look at it together and I'll show you where it is. But I couldn't tell you the page. I use the online more often, and every publication of the HTA is going to be different because it's published by different publishers. Size of font could change, so I can't tell you what page, but section. Actually, now I want to have the fun game of where is it? Where's my phone? Here's my phone. It's going to be, okay, wrong page. So often I say, go look it up, or I'll look it up later, but why not just look it up now? Okay, emergency vehicle. Same thing for school buses, by the way. So it's 159.1b, or at least 159.1. Let's scroll down to 100. I'm doing a lot here. I'm scrolling down to 151. 151? 151. Did I go in the right section? Nah, I'm giving up on this. 159. Not 151. So fun. Only I would make comments about how much fun it is to pick the wrong number looking up things on the HTA. I'm an HTA geek. Yeah. 159. I went too far. Here we go. Approaching, following. Where's the exemptions? So here's the deal. Go to 159 and check it out. There's lots to read. 159. Moving along. Are you at Costco? Not right now, but I have been to Costco. I Costco a lot. What happens if you drive with a Class 7 alone? Well, you're not in Ontario because we have G1 here, which is the equivalent to the learner's permit there. I don't know what the consequences are in wherever you are. We're like the only province who doesn't go with that system, for which I have no idea how it works. If I put the body of a car on the frame of another car, which frame do I register? Oh, you're getting technical. I believe it's based on the frame, not the body. Chase says, thanks for your service. You're very welcome. Thanks for being here, Chase. I've seen a cop pull someone over on the left side of the road. Is there a reason behind it? Depends on what's going on. So if you're talking about a divided highway, meaning that there's a barrier or a center median, the rules say you have to pull over to the closest curb or edge of roadway. If you're in a multi-lane highway, that might be to the left. Generally speaking, I want you pulling over to the right, but it is legal. And in certain situations, it makes total sense. Like if we're in stop and go traffic, I'm not going to signal and take 5 minutes to pull you over to the right. Can I be a Toronto auxiliary and live in Hamilton? You can, but it's going to be a heck of a drive. And auxiliaries do get paid mileage. So if you live in Hamilton, you'll get reimbursed for your mileage, but only from the point that you enter the city. So if you're driving from Hamilton, it isn't until you cross the threshold into Toronto that your mileage would be reimbursed from the city to go help and work somewhere. So you're going to be burning a lot of gas, but you could do it. Anand Sharma is on YouTube too. Okay. Oh, it's Michelle Ryan. Okay, I got it right. I went slow and it worked. Okay. Yes, Chase just figured out that TikTok chat works in the RTM feed, which is really why I'm doing this, because I'm just having fun having TikTok logos show up on my stream because it's actually working. Otherwise, I'm like 12 minutes later than I thought I would be on stopping. Can a cyclist proceed when the walk sign appears? If they're walking the bike, are they still a cyclist if they're walking their bike? No, cyclists cannot go on a pedestrian crossing. They are vehicles, not pedestrians. Can you hang the front plate upside down? Is it illegal? It is illegal. Plates have to be need to be hung or attached in the appropriate fashion as outlined in the regulations. Oddly enough, I'm putting a video about front license plates up because Shane asked during the live stream this morning and I didn't get a chance to answer it, so I'm answering it in a video, which I'm going to publish after I get offline now. And then says, thanks for your service, officer. Back the blue. Much appreciated. Nikki, you're most welcome. Can you become a police officer if you're wearing a hearing aid? I don't know. See, you have to be able to meet the hearing requirements without the hearing aid, I think. And then, like, if I needed a hearing aid next week, I could get one, but I've already passed for application. You might be able to, but I would totally suggest contacting the folks at the employment unit. And if there was issues for hearing requirements for police officer, you might be able to get a job within a different unit of the service just because you have an issue in one area that prevents you from applying. And I'm not saying that you wouldn't be able to, just that if it became an issue, you have other options. We have lots of different jobs within the service. Hermione says, this is a dad joke, isn't it? Or is it a Hermione joke? Happy Halloween. Why did the witch refuse to wear a flat hat? There's no point to it. Very nice. I like that. What is this question? From Dot with no username. Why do police officers feel so privileged they're employee, not employers? No idea what you're talking about, my friend. Okay. C8 says, dude's wife mutes me because the power trip skipped over to her today. I don't know what you were saying, dude. But my wife, who's a member of the Toronto Police Service and was helping with moderation, who doesn't have to do that anymore because I can do it all myself now. How awesome is that? But anyway, so I can mute you directly next time. I don't know what you said to trigger a mute. Usually it's repeating the same thing again and again or asking inappropriate things or getting political. We don't do politics here. Yeah. But I think that's funny. Thanks for bringing it up. It always makes me laugh when people don't like getting muted for saying stuff that's inappropriate. Okay. Yelling can lead to violence. It can. All right. What is the best program for child protection in Ontario? Not sure what we're talking about. At what speed do cops not chase motorcycles? It's all about safety. People do stupid things on motorcycles, end up getting killed by their own hand. They don't know how to ride, and they do things they shouldn't do while trying to run away. And we don't want people to get hurt. We don't want anyone to get hurt. Let's see here. Can you do 20 push-ups in a row? I don't know. I haven't tried to do push-ups since my collision. I broke my hand and my wrist in a motorcycle crash, which is how I ended up in this office. And I haven't really been big into trying to do push-ups since then because it hurts to put pressure there. So I kind of don't do that. But now I want to find out. So I'll do some push-ups tonight. I'll let you know. Or I won't. I don't know. We'll find out. How many officers are corrupt? Apparently Noki thinks that we keep stats on corruption. It's based on how many people get arrested. I guess that's what it is. I don't keep stats on that either. This is the traffic police. Question from Zombie. If a police officer is searching a vehicle and they have to damage it, such as pull out panels or open seats, do they have to repair it or pay for repairs if nothing is found? I'm sure that the owner could try and apply for that, but generally speaking, no. We have the authority to search. We're not trying to damage things, but if we're taking things apart and things get damaged, they may have a case to get repayment, but they may not. I don't know. Can I drive on a Polish license here in Toronto? If you are visiting, while you are visiting, you can drive on a Polish license for up to, well, first of all, you need to have an international driving permit issued in Poland, because I don't believe it's going to be in English, or there'll be English titles on it. So international driving permit is important. But once you become a resident of Ontario, like if you're here as a student or if you're staying here as a resident for any length of time, you only have 60 days to use it. Once you're here for more than 60 days, you can't. Lisa says, in England, you can't if you have a hearing deficit. So in England, you can't be a police officer if you're hearing impaired from the looks of it. Are helicopters in every region? No, not everyone has a helicopter. We don't. But we have friends all around us who do, so we call them when we need one. And then we reimburse them for gas. Isn't that great? You go out with friends and you say, hey, you drive, I'll pay for gas. In this case, it's you fly, I'll pay for the gas. Imagine the insurance after the 50-plus speeding ticket. Oh, my goodness, I have no idea. Jay says, hey, man, really love the videos, the time you take to make them. Thanks. Much appreciated. Appreciate the appreciation. How often do you break the speed limit and don't tell me you don't? That's from Normie on TikTok, who assumes that I ticket people for things that I do myself. As a police officer, when I'm in a police car doing policey stuff, I am actually legally permitted to exceed the speed limit. In my personal vehicle, I make every effort not to. I have acted in the capacity of a police officer where I've seen a suspected impaired driver and accelerated to get a license plate, and I was breaking the posted speed limit, but in my capacity as a police officer, in that moment, it was acceptable. Driving alone, driving places I'm going, driving with my friends and family, I don't speed. You know why? Because I leave early or on time at very least. I plan my trip and I don't have to. I've also been to way too many collisions as a collision investigator, seeing people seriously injured, if not killed, families destroyed, all because some dum-dum decided to go fast. I don't speed. Am I perfect? I'm not perfect. Have I broken a law and not even known about it? Probably. Missed a sign, done something wrong? Yeah. And that's also the kind of stuff that I'd probably give people breaks for. If you didn't see it, you didn't see it. You know, the stuff that I'm most interested in are the people who are choosing to speed, choosing to use their phone, choosing to drive aggressively. For that, there's no excuse. You know, and whoopsie-doo, you made a turn because you didn't know the area. I've let a lot of those go with warnings. It's one of the wonderful things I have as a police officer is the opportunity to issue a warning. The conversation that we have might be all you need. But you know what makes the difference between a ticket and a warning? You. When I pull people over and they go, I didn't do it. It's not my fault. Screw you, copper. You're just a tax collector. And I instantly become the guy who writes a ticket and I lose all compassion. But if someone says, I know I did. I was halfway through the turn. I realized I did the wrong thing. I'm totally, here's my license. That person is the perfect person to give a break to because they acknowledge that they screwed up. Big Jeff Fresh, what's going on, brother? Pizza Man Dude, using the ramp to get ahead. Oh, one of my biggest pet peeves. And this is actually something that if they're totally within the lines, like if they don't cross the bullnose, they are not technically breaking the law, even though they're horrible people and causing everybody else to have a bad day. But if they're going over the bullnose, they're driving off the roadway. It's different than crossing a line. Crossing a line isn't against the law. But when you're in the bullnose, that's not crossing a line. That's driving off the roadway. And that is a ticket. And I would love to issue as many as possible of those tickets. Let's see here. Blue Wolf Moon says, happy Samhain in 11 hours and happy Halloween to you and everyone. I'm not familiar with that holiday, although I think I should be. I don't know why. I'm going to have to Google it after. In any case, thank you for the happy everything. How do you report an officer that was speeding and dangerous driving? That's Chica. You can do that by calling the police service that they're registered to. You can talk to a sergeant. You can go to the OIPRD and file a complaint. I will tell you that a police officer is allowed to speed. And dangerous driving is your interpretation, but they may be responding to a call. And before anyone says that they didn't have their lights on, they don't have to have their lights on. Police are allowed to exceed the speed limit. They're allowed to break a bunch of different things, and they're allowed to do that in the course of their duties as long as it's for a lawful purpose. Yeah. Zombie says, I just got reports of a car crashing into a school bus at my son's school. That is a nightmare. I hope everybody's okay. I hope there was no injuries. Big yellow school bus. I mean, how did anyone expect them to see it? Oh, if they're going through a right must exit and then they re-enter, well, then there's a violation of fail to or disobey sign, and then there's a couple of clear ticket. Boom, boom, boom. Laura Brown wants to know about speed limits. How far past the school do you resume the posted speed limit in a school zone? Depends on when you get into an area and it says the new speed limit. Like, I'm trying to think if you'd have any conditional ones. Generally speaking, signs are like most signs are 150 meters of enforcement, but that's like U-turns and turns. When you're talking about speed zones, you're in a zone. Like unless you see a sign that says the speed is the new speed or begins underneath it, you're in the school zone. Like you're in that speed limit area. Yeah. Pizza Mom Dude says running red lights. Oh, that's a big one. And that's a great one for tickets. Like we need to. That's why I like the electronic enforcement. We can do so much electronic enforcement and catch everybody, and hopefully that would change some behavior. Funny about red lights. Right turns on red lights, people are actually supposed to stop prior to making the right turn. Well, I did an interview. Go to TPS Traffic Jam on YouTube. You can actually watch the video or listen to it on podcast apps. And there was somebody who got 4 tickets in a row for red light running because they went around the block 4 times and didn't stop for the red light on any of them. Why can't we send you gifts? Because I'm the police and I don't need gifts. I really appreciate it. We actually worked really hard with TikTok to disable the feature because back when we started, you could turn it off and it never really worked. And we actually got it now that government accounts cannot receive gifts, and we wanted it that way. We appreciate it. We had originally received like $80 in gifts, and we like, what are we going to do with this? We got to give it to a hospital or something. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm paid to be here. I'm a police officer. I'm on duty. Let's see here. What is this? Is it legal if someone goes 10,000 miles per hour on the highway? How are you going to stop them? 10,000. I think at that point, what's the speed of light? That's terrible. How do I not know what the speed of light is? Well, I just outed myself. I don't remember what the speed of light is. Speed of light. Oh yeah, you're not the speed of light, so you don't get a free pass. That's 299. Wait. Can we convert that to kilometers? 300 kilometers a second. Your miles. 10,000. Well, still, the math doesn't work. You're not at the speed of light, so you don't get a pass. How do we stop you? I don't know. We got Dori Futodami says, thank you. You're welcome. Boss Tiger wants to know if they're flying a jet on the highway. Military jet, specifically. What should one do if they got a speeding ticket in a situation where it was necessary to speed? I don't know what would be necessary. At the beginning of this episode, we had someone who thought it was necessary, caused a big collision, caused someone to lose sight in one eye, amongst other charges, got 9 months in jail. And the judge said there's no excuse. If there's a reason, call 911. There's no reason to speed. Never. Frank Smith. A very good question. Frank Smith wants to know if Toronto police car has bicycle rack on the back cover of the license plate. Is that illegal? Yes, it is. And I've talked about this regularly. We should not be putting bicycle racks to block the license plates. Now, I will also say that there's no question that it's a Toronto police car and that it's clearly marked, and no one or anyone looking at it will know exactly how to make a report of that vehicle and whatever it did. That doesn't make it legal. It's just I know that the reason for a license plate is to identify the vehicle. The vehicle is clearly identifiable. Again, not an excuse. It's not legal. Hopefully, we can get new bicycle racks that don't, or relocate the license plate to the back of it. Because that would only require it once a year, or twice a year, I guess, on and off. Pizza Man Dude is listing all of my my pet peeves. That's awesome. What card is this? That's too funny. Okay. Scrolling through. I got to go, but I want to see. This is so much fun that TikTok is now in this stream. And I just want to see what else. Do you live stream all day? No. I did a radio interview at the beginning of this. That's why the title says Joining Kelly. Oh, it doesn't. Does it say Joining Kelly Couture on TikTok? May say something else. But no, I don't do it all day. I actually do other stuff. I eat lunch. I got a whole bunch of, actually, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I do. But I went in for a 30-minute thing and I've been here for an hour. So you know what? On that, you've actually influenced me to get off the stream because I need to do other stuff. But there's a question about, do we pay it at Tim Hortons? Yeah, I do. Even if someone tries to buy me or give me a free coffee, I make a donation or I insist on paying or I pay for the next person. It gets difficult. It depends on the franchise owner, is Emma. And Emma, hello, Emma. How you doing? Did you notice that you're on TikTok and on the screen? Is this not the coolest thing ever? Okay. Can I join the police on a permanent residence? Yes, if you have a if you are a permanent resident or citizen, you can become a member of the Toronto Police and most police services. Boss Tiger 777.xp says, if my peeled buds call you and tell you I'm okay, can I meet you? I go to events in public and meet people all the time. So yeah, when we talk about it on the show, if you follow us and you get word of when we're doing a next in-person event, come out, say hello. Even if your peeled buds don't say you're okay. Let's see here. Can you eat 20 donuts in a row? Amit 604, I've never actually tried. I probably could. I'd probably be sick after. But I think most people probably could. Like, is 20, they're squishy, right? A lot of air in those. I wonder. It's not a challenge I want to take up, but I've never tried. Have you? I'm guessing, Amit, you can, and you're kind of challenging me because you eat 20 donuts in a row. I'm guessing. Anyway. Can you report police officers? I keep saying I'm going to go away, and then I don't go away. Can you report police officers speeding without their lights on? We're legally permitted to speed without our lights on. In policing, and this is going to sound wild, and no one's going to believe it, but it'll be true, or it is true. And that is, here, I'm shutting off a camera. The deal is that it is often safer for us not to activate our lights, because when we turn our lights on, people do really silly things, like stop right in front of us. And when we're actually trying to go help someone, you're slowing us down. People get really nervous around police and police cars, and the assumption is that we're pulling them over. So we will avoid using our lights until we're legally required to. And when are we legally required to? When we're going through a red signalized intersection. A signalized intersection that is displaying a red signal in our direction. We have to come to a stop, have our full emergency equipment on, and then proceed through when it's safe to do so. Other than that, we're probably not turning it on unless we're giving you a very specific message like move over or pull over. Every pizza man dude, you're like on the money again. DVP bikes, ride reckless, yeah, all day long. And we can't catch all of them. We catch a lot, but not all of them. If you look at our Twitter feed, our Vision Zero enforcement team catches them all the time. It is blissful. I love it. I love it. I'm a motorcycle guy. If you're going to be a dum-dum on the road, I love it when you get caught. I love it when you lose your license and you're putting people's lives at risk and you don't deserve to have one. Can I drink coffee when I'm driving? Yes, you can. If you are, if it's not negatively impacting your ability to safely operate your motor vehicle, I've said this a couple times in that order, then you can. If you're drinking your coffee and it's so good and you're just all over the road, that's a problem. Okay. Does an Ontario license qualify as an international license? Okay. CAA actually issues international driving permits. They are translation cards that must accompany you when you're traveling abroad. And that is to allow the information on our license to be translated into other languages, but it's not a license. International drivers, like do other countries accept foreign licenses? Yes. Do we accept foreign licenses? Yes. For the purposes of visiting, travelers can, if they have their foreign license, come here. They may need an international driving permit issued by their home country, depending on language and length of stay. If you want more information on that, visit www.trafficcop.ca because I have a link for visitors and new residents to look that sort of stuff up. And Boss Tiger 777 is absolutely right. CAA is the issuing body for that in Canada. Okay, so Jazz says, I read section 159 and no exemption is clearly stated. I'm going to have to look it up again. We'll have to have this conversation later. This is the exemption not requiring all traffic to pull over. I'll have to reread it. Sometimes it's in the absence of it being said. It doesn't have to be an exemption based on writing. It could be an exemption based on it not saying that you have to pull over. And I don't know. I'll have to look at it. As far as I know, it's there, but I will certainly take that up as a mission. Let's see here. Is it easy or hard to get into the Hamilton Police Department? I have no reference. I don't know. Okay. Thanks, Emma. Yes, that would definitely be a question for Vaughn. Is it legal to break traffic law to make your way for a police vehicle running a siren? No, it's not. You can't go through a red light to get out of our way. We know that you can't do that. We'll wait for you. Since cybercrime is bigger, will there be a new breed of online cop? There already is. We have units that specialize in that very thing. Normie says, thanks for your honesty. This is probably in relation to, have I ever broken a law? I have absolutely. Oh, I've already answered it, but you're very welcome. I got nothing to hide here. Let's see here. Difference is. Oh, Terrace says, so this is a question is, will another police officer write you a ticket? I'm sure they would, because everything's on camera. No one's going to give someone a break and put their job on the line if you're doing something that's dangerous. Frantic says, cops just work for business, not the people. No, we are very much here to keep the people safe. It's a good question. My goodness, I can't stop answering questions. I'm having too much fun. Do traffic cops have quota to meet every month for speeding tickets, etc.? And the answer is no. Every single day that we go out there, we're expected to work. We're expected to do an honest day's work. We're getting paid, and that's the deal. So I'm a traffic cop. If I went out and didn't do any traffic enforcement, and I didn't have any collisions to investigate, if I didn't have anything going on, my eyes are open. Everywhere I see a violation. If I'm doing nothing about it, I'm not doing my job. So my pen would be moving all day long if I was on the road, and that's what I used to do. I was all over enforcement and investigations of collisions. So let me put it this way: if I was busy doing a crash or I arrested someone for something and that took me the whole day, I may not issue tickets that day. I might not issue tickets the next day because I'm so busy with paperwork from the previous day. But if I'm out there and I see something, I'm going to do something. Driving off roadway if they're driving the hard shoulder, technically. Just for congestion, totally illegal. Oh, saw in. Did I say that? Saw in. So Krano says it's saw in. It's a pagan holiday that Halloween is based on. Oh, cool! I learned something. I was going to Google it. Sew in. Sew in. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that from the spelling. Okay. Is it hard to get into the police? So it is, and this is from Sleeping Beauty on TikTok. It is incredibly hard to get onto these jobs. They're competitive processes. It's one of those things that you work as hard as for me anyway. My experience was I worked as hard as I could. I did all sorts. I took grade 7 math again. No, I went to a tutor. I wanted to pass. I wanted to get in. I committed to it, and it was hard. And it's stressful and it's lengthy, and it's worth it. I think it's a great way to go. I can't speak for other countries, other places. I'm sure there's somewhere that gives you, that is easier or harder to get into. I don't know. I can only speak to my own experience, and it was stressful and the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. Achieving that success, meeting a childhood dream of becoming a police officer, actually doing it, and then furthermore, getting onto the motorcycle squad as a motor officer, truly everything I ever wanted. Next to being, dad to my kids and husband to my wife. Like, those are the things, and then my work stuff, everything. Yeah, I feel blessed. What does increased fine zone actually mean? Usually it's double. What is this? I keep saying goodbye and I keep saying hello. They keep dragging me back in. Can we discuss actual crosswalks with crossing guards? Do all directions stop when guard has sign up? All directions, no. They can't cross through, and no one can cross through on any length until the crossing guard has left the intersection. You have no pedestrians on the road. The crossing guard's going to be the last person, and you can only go through that crosswalk after the crossing guard has put down their sign and gotten off the road. Should a citizen report observing littering, spitting, smoking in public spaces? Thank you. You know what? In reality, those things, as much as I would love people to adhere to and follow the rules, that's not something that I would tie up emergency resources for. You can make a report to your local division, your police station, and say, we're having a problem with people doing it in this particular area. And then maybe police will be more present there and respond to it if they see it. But don't call 911 and don't call even the emergency line for someone who's littering. It's an unfortunate thing. We'll catch them when we see them. And again, you can send emails to say it's an issue. You can call 311. You can speak to your counselor. It should be absolutely addressed, but it's not a police call urgent thing. We're so busy doing actual urgent things. U-turns on a red line, absolutely illegal. Don't know why people do it. This is a long story. Well, if you're around tomorrow at 10 a.m., we can talk about it on the live stream. But I really got to go. And I know this will not stop. It will not stop. The questions will continue. So I'm going to stop looking. I'm going to stop looking. It's been a slice. I came on for 5 to 10 minutes of interview, and I've been here for an hour. But I've loved every minute of it, and I hope to see you again soon. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. is our regular time, and we'll do this in the afternoon again because it was fun. Have a great day.